What's up, everyone? This is Soul. It's an off day. I'm doing a video with the hair down, kind of. Please hit the like button, subscribe for more content. And today I'm going to be talking about the Revival Catalyst. And I want to clarify some information, let people know just kind of how this works, concerns that I have, things that are like, cool, not so cool, and so on and so forth. Earlier today, there was a post from fellow creator Mr. GM with regards to what's eligible in the Catalyst. He was saying that only champion gear was going to be available, and that kind of caught my interest. I was like, oh man, is that true? Is it only champion gear that works? Because I do recall from certain clarifying statements from the WoW team that there was going to be certain gear that would work, namely things that would come from certain events like Farrak Assaults, stuff like that, that those would be eligible. But also, it seemed like it would be a little bit confusing, like how would that work because of the way that upgrades are. So I decided to take a look for myself, because if Mr. GM was right, Raid Finder gear, which is all veteran gear, it's veteran class gear, none of that stuff would have been available. So thankfully, I was able to get onto this one character that I had done like some content with. This person did happen to get some Raid Finder gear as well as Farrak Assault gear. It all worked out. And so from my testing, so here is a piece that comes from Raid Finder. You can kind of see over there, it says Raid Finder. You see it light up. I can drag the thing in here and it lets me convert this into the new gear. And then of course I can use the pull down the same way, and I'm able to see the gear that is eligible. So that includes the piece of Raid Finder gear that I got here. It includes the piece of Raid Finder gear that I got here. And it includes these bracers, these suffused bindings that dropped specifically from Farrak Assaults. And that's kind of the long and short of it. As for how this works, what is eligible, what is not. Now, all champion gear, from whatever source, all of that is going to be eligible for use with the Creation Catalyst, Raid Finder, and again Farrak Assaults. There may be some other sources, some other bits and pieces of gear that come from certain areas that may also qualify. However, this does bring up a number of questions with regards to consistency with how the Revival Catalyst or Creation Catalyst or whatever, how it's been working over the past like approximately year or so that we've had a system like this. Now, originally with the Creation Catalyst back in late Shadowlands, we were able to use certain gear from world content, things that we were able to purchase via a vendor. That had its own kind of drama behind it, but basically you just got some currency, you bought whatever you wanted, and then you were able to convert that into tier sets. In Season 1 of Dragonflight, we were able to take this Primal Storm stuff. We needed to upgrade it to a certain level, make it eligible. Then we were able to use it with the Revival, the now called Revival Catalyst, or we happened to get like those Primal tokens that let us have that elevated gear right away, and we were able to convert that stuff into tier right away. In this season, though, we don't quite have any of that. Storm gear has not been updated. We don't expect that to be updated or otherwise be eligible. And there is no vendor that we know of here. There is no way to just kind of buy lower gear and eventually just kind of turn that into whatever we want. We're pretty much subject to RNG for getting like starter gear. I also admit it's going to be kind of confusing when players are trying to determine which gear is eligible or which gear is not. Now, this is something that world content players are going to worry about more than others, because they're going to see like this piece of veteran gear or whatnot, and they might think, okay, well, these stats are cool, but they're not that cool. I'm just going to dump this thing and replace it with something else. There's no tag here. There's no identifier up in that gear that says, hey, this stuff is going to be eligible for use in the Revival Catalyst once it's available. It just looks like any old veteran gear here, whereas this gear is called Raid Finder gear, and then other stuff is going to be champion gear, but it doesn't matter where it comes from, all of that stuff is going to be eligible. So one thing that I would like to see the WoW team do, if possible, if they can do this before the Revival Catalyst goes live in a couple of weeks or so, this would help reduce confusion from players, reduce the number of times that they might have to do item restoration because, oh no, I got rid of a piece of gear that I shouldn't have. And it would be to just add another one of those tags. So this is Raid Finder, just call this thing like Farrak Assault gear or whatever, just some equivalent to identify to players like, hey, this is somewhat specialer gear that I'm able to do a little bit more with, because this ain't bad, This veteran gear, it goes up to 424. It has a socket already on it. This is something that I would consider switching to, using the revival catalyst on if the stats are good. So I just wanted to clarify how this thing works, and also to bring up the concern that one, it's a little bit hard to identify this sort of gear, and two, there is no vendor, so it's going to be a little bit harder for world content players to easily collect and get tier set bonuses. So let me know what you guys think in the comment below. That's all I got. I'll see you guys for the next thing. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.